Good to have you join us on the news on NTA International. I'm Comfort Amadou. Let's begin with the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari receives briefing on situation with COVID-19 spread in Nigeria. Lagos State government unveils emergency food response for local areas to cushion effect of COVID-19 in the state. A National Emergency Management Agency assures of adequate food supply in the face of the pandemic. And now details of the report as President Muhammadu Buhari this Saturday summoned the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Hanere, and the Director General Nigerian Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Hekwazu, for briefing as cases of coronavirus pandemic continue to rise in the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details of this.
The engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Health and Director General, Nigeria Center for Disease Control is coming at a time Nigerians are getting worried over the capacity of the nation's health system to contain the coronavirus pandemic as more people get infected. The President therefore summoned the meeting to find facts with a view to charting the best way forward. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Hanere, spoke to NTA News after the closed-door meeting that lasted about 40 minutes.
It is to answer a few questions that His Excellency had about the health sector, which we took the opportunity to explain further.
So what are the takeaways from here?
Well, the takeaway is that we have been able to clarify a few things which were, let us say, in question regarding the state we are in to the coronavirus disease outbreak in Nigeria.
What did you tell the President?
Sorry?
What did you tell the President?
Well, I explained those problems, the situation, and what the projection will be going forward, and what are the measures which you think will be very necessary at this time.
So what are the measures have you suggested to him?
Well, I will leave that for him to decide. I don't want to disclose that now.
So what did the President tell you?
He wished us very well and told us that we should continue doing the right thing.
It will be recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari recently approved a special intervention fund of 5 billion naira towards equipping and expanding facilities and laboratories of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And the National Center for Disease Control has announced 8 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. 7 of the cases are in Lagos, 1 in Benue, and this puts the number of confirmed cases to 89 as at Saturday, the 28th of March. Total discharge figures stand at 3 and only 1 death. Nigerians' 43 cabinet ministers have donated 50% of their March 2020 salaries to support the federal government's effort to combat COVID-19 pandemic in the country. A statement signed by Segun Ademi, Special Assistant to the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, quoted the Minister of State for Transportation, Senator Wemi Shola Saraki, who coordinated the donation, as saying it was a gesture of solidarity and support for the federal government's effort to tackle the disease. This global virus outbreak will require nations, continents and smaller communities to pull together to contribute their resources and support one another. This will facilitate an early resolution of the problem, says Lai Mohammed, and further quoted Senator Saraki as saying the ministers also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his leadership role in addressing the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria. And now the World Health Organization has ranked Nigeria among 6 African countries with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. Confirmed cases rose to 81 on Saturday, with 1 recorded death so far. The pandemic has infected over 400,000 people around the world and killed more than 25,000 persons. In Africa, South Africa has recorded 927 cases and 2 deaths. In Algeria, 305 cases and 1 death in Burkina Faso, 146 and 3 deaths in Ghana, 132 and 3 deaths, and Senegal has 105 with no death, ranks for second, third 4th and 5th on the log. And now, Debola Brooks on Sunday is standing by for global update on coronavirus.
Hello and welcome. WHO Worldometer shows that the number of coronavirus cases has reached more than 600,000, of which more than 131,000 people have recovered and more than 27,000 have died. Sri Lanka has recorded its first deaths due to coronavirus. The island nation of roughly 21 million has about 110 infected cases. So far, all patients who test positive for COVID-19 are being treated at the Infectious Diseases Hospital in Colombo. And the head of Chancery and Federal Minister Hugh Brown said the measures taken in Germany to stem the spread of the coronavirus will continue to remain effective until at least April 20, adding that government's top priority is not to allow the blockage of the health system. Germany has over 53,000 cases and with 399 deaths, while 1,581 are in critical condition. The number of coronavirus fatalities in Iran has surged to over 2,517 as health officials announced over 139 new deaths in the past 24 hours. Health Ministry spokesperson Kianosh Jampour said over 3,076 people were confirmed to have contracted the virus, bringing the total to over 35,000, and more than 3,000 patients were in critical condition. In Italy, Pope Francis has held a dramatic solidarity prayer service in St. Peter's Square of the Vatican, urging the world to see the coronavirus pandemic as a test of solidarity and a reminder of basic values, as the country recorded over 919 coronavirus deaths, its highest daily figure in the outbreak so far, taking the number of deaths to over 9,000 in the country. And to USA, which is now the epicenter of the virus, COVID-19 is now over 100,000 cases and 1,700 deaths. However, residents in New York have been ignoring their governor's stay-at-home order for stopping the spread of the novel coronavirus to bask in the sun and enjoy the warm weather with the arrival of spring in the city. In the UK, reports show that the number of people who have died with the coronavirus have reached 1,019. The latest government figures show that there were another 260 deaths in the UK in a day. There are now over 17,089 confirmed cases. In Africa, coronavirus has hit 46 countries with over 3,000 confirmed cases and 94 deaths. Algeria has over 400 cases, 26 deaths, and none in critical condition. And in South Africa, police fired rubber bullets towards hundreds of shoppers queuing outside a supermarket in Johannesburg as people were not respecting social distancing measures. Between 200 and 300 people gathered outside a popular grocery store in Johannesburg Central Business District on a day 2 of lockdown nationwide. South Africa tops the charts in Africa with over 1,000 cases, 7 in critical condition, and 1 death. There is a good news, however, as enterprises across China are gradually resuming business operation as the COVID-19 epidemic has kept abating in China over the past few weeks. I am Debola Brooks Sunday. Thanks for your time.
And let's now turn our attention to Lagos. A few days after the Lagos State government issued a stay-at-home directive to residents to curtail the spread of the novel coronavirus, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has unveiled economic stimulus package for the indigent and the most vulnerable residents of the state. Nosa Osula reports that the intervention, which comes in food package, is to be distributed in all local governments in Lagos, designed to cushion the effect of the 14-day stay-at-home directive on the beneficiaries.
The World Health Organization's March 11 recognition of COVID-19 as a global pandemic has removed any doubt about the threats that the virus poses to every country in the world. Speaking after an on-the-spot assessment of one of the state-owned food banks located inside the premises of the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives in Agege, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu explained that the economic stimulus will reduce the burden of the temporary economic downturn on the citizens caused by the outbreak of COVID-19. The governor said the food packs which were put together by the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives will reach the most vulnerable communities and households across Lagos, saying that indigents who rely on daily wages will be given priority.
It is for indigent, it is for vulnerable people, it is for physically challenged, below the pyramid people that need government intervention at this point in time. And I'm impressed that within 48 to 72 hours, it has started. And I hear that we're doing this repackaging, in about 5 different locations. So each location will be close to the relevant local government where it's going to be happening. And I would personally be following up to ensure that the people that we desire to have these things, we have them.
The governor stated that the food packs are produced for a size of 6 people per household and would last for at least 14 days.
We're given, bags of rice, of beans, of gari, of bread, dry pepper, even we're trying to put, if we can put water and some element of vitamin C or something there, just so that at least people have something, and each ration we believe should be able to take them minimum of 14 days, just so that all our advocacy around sit at home, stay with your loved ones, people will respect.
Commissioner for Agriculture, Bola Lawal, explained that the government would be working with the state's existing database. In Lagos, Nosa, Osula, NTA.
And in Kebbi State, government has banned movement in and out of the state with effect from Saturday, 28th of this month until further notice. In a live broadcast, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, however, mentioned categories of persons not affected. More on this with Abdullahi Usman Shehu.
Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu in the broadcast explained that the travel restriction order did not affect vehicles and emergency services, security agencies, and those transporting food items, pharmaceutical products, as well as fuel products. Similarly, the governor said all markets in the state are to operate at minimal hours under close supervision of the COVID-19 task force to ensure low gathering in all public places. Governor Bagudu equally said Kebbi State shares borders with Niger and Benin Republic. Therefore, extra vigilance is required. In spite of the border closure by the federal government, movement of people has not been prohibited. The governor, who reiterated the increased cases of coronavirus in Nigeria that is mostly linked to travel history, urged traveling authorities and stakeholders to pay more attention and comply with all recommended measures set on ground. Despite no single suspected case recorded in the state, he urged the public to abide strictly by the measures put in place, assuring that government will continue to adopt strategies to minimize the risks of congestion and hygiene improvement.
To date, no case of coronavirus has been confirmed in the state, but the fact that it exists elsewhere should serve to make us more vigilant and even increase our surveillance. So we need to agree that this is something that we must fight with all the seriousness it deserves.
In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And Kogi is a transit state connecting about 10 states of the Federation, and this road users recently expressed fears on the directive for a lockdown as measures against the spread of COVID-19. Charles Alpha was at the entry point to the state capital from Abuja for a situation report on compliance.
Kogi State government has set up a squadron, charged with the responsibility of curtailing the coronavirus pandemic from spreading, even though no case has been recorded in Kogi State. But one of those steps or measures that have been put in place is the shutting down of both entry and exit points in the state. Even though there is no total compliance, most of the vehicles, we don't know whether they are currently being checked or not, but we will talk to some passengers or motorists that have been coming into Kogi State to see if they have actually been checked or not.
My name is Isa Abdullahi. Here is Okene Park, Okene Motor Park. Actually, the state government are trying for closing some part of movement. Even in this car that we are entering, I was here about to enter Motor to Okene. We are complaining, nobody has come. 6 passengers from here to Okene, nobody has cross-checked. Nobody is here to cross-check of them.
Some people using current theory, one for front, 2 at the back. The passenger up to that, they can't pay.
You know, we came by Siena car, so 3 in the middle, 4 at the back, the 1 at the front.
Now, the Natako area here used to be, it's known for a beehive of activities, whether day or night. But following the directives, the squadron actually stated that tricycles should take not more than 1 passenger per time. As it is right now, there is a gradual compliance to this directive. That's how it's been from us here in Kogi State. It's over to you now.
We now take a break. Now, more reports in a moment. Stay tuned.
Virus, also known as COVID-19, is spreading at an alarming rate all over the globe, including Nigeria. With the number of infected persons in Nigeria increasing daily, prevention is better than cure. Coronavirus has no cure. The virus spreads from 1 person who affects 2 persons, and by the time the affected person is isolated, the 2 persons have affected 4, and it keeps spreading. You must take preventive measures to save yourself and that of the people around you. Always wash your hands with soap and water. Put distance between yourself and others. Whenever you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth. Clean and disinfect surfaces. Stay at home if you're sick and contact the proper authorities. Together, we can cut down the spread of the coronavirus. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest TV network.
Many thanks for staying tuned with us on the news. And as more countries around the globe continue to lock down all activities as a result of rapid spread of coronavirus, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has mobilized Rapid Response Unit in the event of a total lockdown in Nigeria. This is to cater for the people with food items and other support as they remain indoor. Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Mihaja, said the Rapid Response Unit is expected to be replicated in all states of the Federation. Ilyasu Ali Yakub has the report.
Members of the Rapid Response Team were drawn from the Nigerian military, Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, National Center for Disease Control, the Federal Fire Service, Federal Road Safety Corps, Nigerian Police, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigerian Red Cross Society, NAPTIP, and NEMA as the coordinating agency. Their mandate is to ensure effective distribution of food items to Nigerians as they remain indoors in compliance to the total lockdown directive. To prevent any uprising as a result of the lockdown, as well as cater for victims of the virus. The NEMA's DG explained that the agency has an established distribution mechanism that will be used to reach all vulnerable Nigerians that will require this federal government support as the lockdown lasts.
Those persons or personalities who cannot feed themselves, the government is putting arrangement in place where the strategic reserve, national strategic reserve, can be used to supply the needs of such kind of people in terms of food supply, essential commodities, as well as water. All necessary arrangement is being made to ensure that security in terms of food is being provided.
The provision of facilities, provision of working tools, and mobilization of necessary resources is key.
Now, as part of the National Rapid Response Team, we have been asked to deploy 50 paramedics, including some of our doctors and nurses, which you can see with our assets.
Already, more than 7 states have enforced a total lockdown, even though the federal government is yet to make formal pronouncement on the lockdown. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
And as the world grapples with the outbreak of coronavirus, residents of Akure and other parts of Ondo State woke up Saturday morning terrified by an explosion which rocked parts of the state, leaving part of the ever-busy Akure-Owo Expressway submerged. Police sources informed that the explosion occurred when devices used for rock blasting went off while being transported along Akure-Owo Expressway. Olubimi Iruju reports that though many were reported injured, no life was lost in the blast.
The explosion occurred in Iluabu, few kilometers from Akure, the state capital. The explosion, which occurred around 1:30 a.m. Saturday, was felt throughout the Ondo State capital, causing great apprehension among the people. Ondo State Commissioner of Police, Ondi Adi, was among the first callers to the site of the explosion. He says the explosion was an accident.
It is not a military explosion. It was an accidental discharge of explosive materials that were being conveyed from Ibadan to Edo State for a quarry company.
Unconfirmed report says the vehicle carrying the explosive is buried in the huge crater created by the explosion. As a result of this, traffic along Akure-Owo Highway, which is a major gateway to the north, has been disrupted. The major concern for the governor, who has also visited the scene of the blast with the state deputy governor, is the huge number of people trooping to the scene of the accident, especially at this time of the coronavirus pandemic.
Social and physical distancing is still in place, so all of us should not crowd to a place, and because of this unfortunate incident, think that it gives us room to be meandering or to be moving about and would not be reasonable about our movement. If you have bombs somewhere, then it is not in place for you to go near there.
Though the police say no life was lost, the blast destroyed a number of properties, including churches, schools, factory and residential houses. The police and other security agencies are on ground and have cordoned off the scene of the blast. In Akure, Olubumi Iroju, NTA News.
And the All Progressives Congress has sympathized with people and victims of the explosion that occurred at Aluabo in Ondo State. The party, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Issa Onilu, urged the people to remain calm and assure them that all residents of the authorities are attending to the situation with a condor in place and a bomb squad deployed to the area. The APC has expressed confidence that the state government will put in place rehabilitation measures to cater for people displaced and affected by the explosion. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has joined Nigerians and the All Progressives Congress in celebrating the former governor of Lagos State and national leader of the governing party, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, on his 68th birthday. President Buhari salutes Asiwaju's courage, for forthrightness and diligence in providing exemplary and broad-minded leadership for the political party, extolling him for particularly taking the path of wisdom in solving problems. President Buhari affirms that Asiwaju's greatest strength lies in his ability to look beyond religious, ethnic and political stereotyping, embracing the reality of Nigeria as one entity and extending his warmth and experience to other parts of the country, especially in difficult times like the current struggle against COVID-19. The president prays that the Almighty God will grant the APC national leader longer life, strength and good health. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress, in a statement by Lanre Issa Onilu, its national publicity secretary, says it is proud to identify with Tinubu as an outstanding politician and statesman whose contribution to the enthronement and sustenance of democracy in Nigeria have been phenomenal and acknowledged far and wide. And President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, has also felicitated with the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who turned 68. In a statement by the special advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awoni, Senator Lawal said Asiwaju Tinubu, a former senator and a two-term governor of Lagos State, is an inspirational political leader, champion of national unity and development. He observed that all through the political life of the former governor, he groomed leaders, set development templates, and built bridges for national integration and cohesion, all of which he sees as necessary tools for robust development and great nationhood. The Senate President rejoiced with him, his family, friends and political associates on the auspicious occasion of his 68th birthday. He prayed that the Almighty Allah grants him many more years of service to humanity and beloved. Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila has paid tribute to the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he celebrates his 68th birthday. In a statement, the Speaker says the history of Nigerian democratic experience will not be complete without the name of Asiwaju, the Jagaban of Bargu, having becoming a phenomenon in Nigerian politics and introduced many great political icons from 1990. Femi Gbajabiamila says, as a product of Tinubu's School of Politics, he learns every day from the Jagaban as he remains a worthy mentor, while praying God to continue to grant him good health, wisdom, and bless him with more knowledge. The Speaker wishes him many more years so that he will continue to do the good works he has been doing for Nigeria and humanity. Time now for updates in the world of sports.
Going by the increasing numbers of those who are infected by the coronavirus in Lagos, the state has erected a temporary isolation center at the renovated Onikon Stadium to increase the capacity to isolate the affected ones. The State Commissioner for Health, who stated this while briefing the media on COVID-19 in Lagos, explained the rationale behind the decision.
Onikon Stadium is a very suitable place to erect a temporary structure because the stadium in itself provides adequate physical facilities. It's been recently renovated, everything is brand new.
In a related development, following the announcement of the conversion of stadia in the country to isolation centers due to the coronavirus pandemic, Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare, who embarked on the tour of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium Abuja, stated that packages A and B of the stadium are ready to serve as isolation centers, describing the 57 VIP suites, velodrome, multipurpose hall and other facilities in the edifice as good enough to serve various purposes.
This place could serve as a testing center because you can space people. It could also serve as a storage center. It could serve as a distribution center for facilities, as the case may be. So there's going to be the opportunity to use this for multiple purposes.
He further stated that the highest decision-making body in sports in the country, the National Council on Sports, will hopefully meet in the next few weeks to make a decision on the recently postponed National Sports Festival. In football, Nigeria Super Falcons moved into 38th position on the latest FIFA Women's World Rankings released on Friday for the first quarter of 2020. The African champions climbed a spot from 39th position despite failing to qualify for the Olympic Games. With sports update, Gift George, NTA News.
Many thanks for that sport update there. And that concludes the news on NTA International. I'm Comfort Amadou. Many thanks for watching.